Hello, hello, and welcome back. We are here, Ep005 of the Unclutch podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris.
Hey, what's going on? It's Isaiah.
And today we're going to just get into a little bit of Rockets recap. We're going to talk about some Lakers love. You know, my boy LeBron ain't looking too great. Neither is James Harden and the Clippers, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. A couple of issues going on with viewership still, and, you know, it's not improving. We're going to get into that as well, and a couple of little side topics here and there. So let's go ahead and get that started. So the Rockets game, you ended up going to one of the Rockets games this week?
Yeah, we went to the OKC game, the Cup game, first and second seed. You know, we're second seed. OKC was first at the time. Manuel and Diego and we went. It's a good game, man. I think we paid under $30 a ticket. You know, sat at the top. It was still great view, great atmosphere. It was a great game.
Right. $30 a ticket is pretty good for the number one seed going against the number two seed.
Yeah. Luckily, you know, besides for playoffs and anything like that, our tickets are pretty relatively fair. You know, Philly has tickets for $1, but they're playing so bad now.
Yeah.
So kind of want to go out there before, if I can, maybe this year. So.
Oh yeah, you had said something earlier about wanting to go to all of the arenas.
Yeah,
in the US?
that's what I want to do before I die for sure. It's like a bucket list thing.
Bucket list.
So
Okay.
I've been to the Spurs arena. I've been to the United Airlines arena. I guess that's Dallas's.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Manuel and I probably want to go to New Orleans Smoothie King Center later this month. So it'll be fun.
Okay.
A little drive, 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive.
6-hour drive.
I mean, you used to drive trucks. I drive trucks. So
I mean, 6 hours is still 6 hours.
Yeah, you're right.
It's there. But okay, cool. So the OKC game. So, you know, walk me through that. How did you feel? How do you think they played? A couple things that they could have did better. Some things they could have did worse.
It was a great game all around from both teams. Showed a lot of heart, a lot of fight out there. Dylan Brooks and his countryman SGA got into it a little bit, but they were just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fighting for a loose ball, became a jump ball. The refs thought, hey, you know, these guys might be going at it. No, they were smiling, just laughing, having a good time competing, you know, which is great. That's what we love about sports. That's why we play sports. The vets really carried us through. Dylan Brooks had a clutch shot towards the end. Fred had a great game. I believe he had 38 points. The vets really pulled us home on that game, and that was very important for us. Subsequently, the games afterwards, we were kind of playing, you know, I think that game took a lot out of us. So we did end up losing to the Kings maybe a day or two later, and then we lost to the Warriors 2 days ago without Steph and Draymond, which is crazy. I watched that game on a playback, and I didn't watch it live because I was busy at the time. And they were in California, so the game started at 9, which is a little late for me, you know. But we just look a little tired, a little sloppy, and there's a lot of misses on that Warriors game. I was just watching that yesterday and earlier this morning, and it was nasty. It was a clank fest. It looked like we were playing out there. It was really rough.
Yeah. I caught the OKC game as well, and I caught the last quarter of the Warriors game. OKC game was pretty good, in my opinion. We did everything we needed to do to win that game, although we did let them come back. That we were on the verge of losing that comfortably. I mean, winning that comfortably, excuse me. And they ended up making it a game towards the very, very end, and ultimately tied it, and we had to go win it. That clutch shot from Dylan Brooks probably stemmed off of the chippiness that ended up happening right before it.
Yeah. Get that adrenaline going.
So props to Udoka, because I honestly believe that he called that up for Dylan Brooks, which who calls a play for Dylan Brooks?
Ball.
No, for after the inbound.
The mid-range, the mid-range fadeaway, that was off a loose ball.
It was up. No, the clock was running down, and he ended up hitting a what is that, like a turnaround?
Yeah,
almost?
he did like a turnaround fading toward like the right side. I didn't think that was a play call. I thought it was like an inbound. I gotta look at it.
Yeah, we gotta go watch that.
I seen him hit that shot before. Actually, I saw him hit against the Warriors. He likes that shot. It's a tough shot, but if you make it, I mean, I guess he practices that shot.
Yeah. I mean, that's Chris Paul's shot. That not very many
not
guards.
Getting into it. I don't. Not the way Chris Paul sets that up.
Yeah,
Chris Paul sets it up with like the backspin.
And how did he set it up?
He just goes in the lane. I guess he does like the pivot.
Yeah, he was
but
like it looked like
Chris Paul does like behind the back dribble and then turns into like a half spin. He's just doing like a half spin with the pivot foot.
Okay.
Chris Paul's is way smoother.
Yeah,
Chris Paul's a better player than Dylan Brooks. There's no question.
Right. I mean, to me, it just looked like it was like a entry level post, and then it was like a post fade, kind of.
He rose up for it though. I'll give him that. Like it looked good.
Mm-hmm.
Like he started with confidence, and like I said, he started before because I've seen it in different games.
Mm-hmm.
So glad that he made it. So
yeah,
that Fred deep three, like that heave, that really like set us off though.
Right.
Like that shot sent the crowd going crazy. Like
Fred was balling on that
game. Like we've talked about him a couple times this year. Maybe not even on the pod, just like talking with the guys. And we're like, oh, we overpaid him. He's not worth it, blah, blah, blah. But, no, he's kind of turned this team around, man, with Udoka, too. Just having that good veteran president. And he is a champion.
Yeah.
So, I don't really care about the money because at the time, we couldn't have paid anybody else. And our team was terrible. Mm-hmm. So, I think it's worked out just fine.
Right. It's like the only time money comes into the question, in my opinion, is like if we have someone available to get, and we don't have the money for it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? A trade or salary dump.
Right.
Like we'll talk about probably getting rid of Jalen Green and his inconsistencies over the last 6 games. He's a hit or miss guy. And I've talked to guys, even just on Instagram. We're like, hey, man, what do you think about this guy? And I'm like, he's just inconsistent. He doesn't show up every game, and we need that, especially if you're one of the top 2 paid guys on our team. It just doesn't make sense for us to invest in somebody like that if you're not going to be the guy. And I don't see any leadership from him. I don't see a lot of drive, a lot of heart. If we are making a trade this year, I think he's one of the first ones that got to go, along with Jay Sean Tate, great player, but he just doesn't get minutes. Cam Whitmore, people like that, lower
I
end bench
hope
guys.
we don't get rid of Cam Whitmore.
He just doesn't play that.
I hope he develops enough to where he can get some minutes in. But you were speaking about Jalen Green and his inconsistency. By inconsistent, we mean against Minnesota, he scored 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Then turned around against Philly, scored 41 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Then against OKC, which ultimately is pretty much to me the only game that mattered this week, he had 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Then in 2 losing efforts, he had 28, 7, and 3, and then 14, 4, and 4. So that's what we kind of mean about inconsistency. You don't really know what he can get, or consistently inconsistent. So he's been in the league long enough for that to not be a thing. He has the skill set to show up every day. I just don't think he has the mindset to do that, and the willingness to, even with hard coaching, because Udoka will bench him. Right.
He will cut his minutes if he's not playing, and I don't see him playing off the ball well, which isn't a good thing. But he's also not a playmaker with the ball in his hands.
Right.
He's not setting anybody else.
He's not a playmaker for others.
Player.
Right.
And that's what we talked about earlier in the pods, maybe pod 1, pod 2, where it's like these AAU guys are coming up. They really don't know how to play basketball like that. He's a great ISO scorer, but that's not what you need all the time. I just don't understand that.
We talked about the AAU and ISO ball, and kind of how they're learning how to score more, but they're not learning how to actually play basketball. So do you think that at some point there's going to be a reversal, and they're going to start putting in players that only know how to pass and rebound and do all of the fundamental stuff? Or you think that the flashy showmanship of scoring is just the new wave of basketball?
It's the new wave for sure. I mean, it will take a generation for it to quote unquote change. I don't think it's going to happen. But we are seeing European players dominate the NBA.
Right.
They're the top. The last number of MVPs have been foreign-born.
Right.
We think about the top American-born players. We still have great players, but the league is kind of getting away from us because in Europe, like we talked about earlier with Luka and other players playing at such a young age professionally, they're actually learning how to play basketball the correct way.
Right. Europeans do care about that.
It's easier to score in the NBA than in EuroLeague and stuff like that. And Luka's, he always dominates, so I can't say that he's wrong. A lot of people will laugh at that, but the numbers don't lie.
Right.
If he were to be in shape all the time, which he struggles with, and if he were to stay healthy all the time, he'd already have an MVP. He should probably get an MVP in the next 2 years. It's just the health issues and just staying in shape. That's I feel like that's his biggest thing.
He might very well get an MVP in the next 2 years or so, but um, a big issue that I see with a lot of the sport now is they're kind of okay with the Europeans coming in. Maybe they don't. Maybe it hasn't set in for them yet. The more efficient and effective players are more fundamental esque and less showmanship. Well, I mean, but at the same time, Luka isn't fundamental. I wouldn't say. Did you say he's fundamental?
I think he has the groundwork to be.
Uh,
He's an ISO scorer too, but he can do other things. I don't think he just has to just. He's not just. I guess he's an offensive player because he doesn't play defense,
mm-hmm.
but he doesn't try to play defense.
Right.
I think his basketball IQ is high enough to offer more than just scoring on the court.
Okay.
His passing is pretty damn good. We've seen his flashy passes. If he wanted to be, let's say he gets older and he slows down and he goes
Even more.
Yeah, I mean he'll slow. He's not a fast. He's not relying on his athleticism. That's what the European players aren't doing.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic is not quote unquote athletic. He's not jumping out of the gym.
Except
he doesn't
Giannis.
need to be. Giannis, yes, Greek freak, yes, but Jokic's game will translate well when he gets older and he gets slower because he has the fundamentals. Just like Sengun, he's not an athletic person.
Mm-hmm.
He has athleticism. He has great footwork. He has great touch. He has great passing. Great feel for the game. That holds up well. If you're just jumping out of the gym, how many years can you do that? You tear a meniscus, you get an ACL tear, you get a fractured foot.
I mean, Westbrook's still doing it like 33, 34.
He's an outlier, I think.
Okay.
Because, we get high flyers like John Wall. He's out of the league. I think Kemba Walker was a very explosive, not necessarily jumping out of the gym, but explosive guard. He had that knee injury. He's out. He's coaching with the Charlotte Hornets right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of guys that just, their careers were cut shorter because that athleticism went away and they didn't have anything else to rely on. You need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 tricks in your bag rather than just, I'm the fastest and I jump the highest on the court. There's more to basketball than that, and we're seeing that.
Right. And that was actually one of the arguments that we were making last night when we were talking after the game. In case you haven't catch, we'll upload like a couple of segments here and there about just after school after hoop little sessions, little chat where we talk about whatever just pops up honestly. But yesterday we were saying that is it easier to stop an athletic player or a fundamental player? So we were talking about what was it? What was his name?
David West?
No. We were talking about Cam Whitmore versus Fred VanVleet.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, I said, and I'm still sticking to it, that I can get a stop on Cam Whitmore before I can get a stop on Fred VanVleet, because Fred VanVleet is more basketball minded. He has a little bit more tricks up his sleeve, as you were alluding to. Cam Whitmore is what, one jab step and run into the rim. You know what I mean? So I feel like the deeper your bag is, the more difficult you are to stop, even for regular people. So for people of the highest level, you're gonna need more than just athleticism.
Yeah, after a while. I think when the thing with NBA teams and their the people that are with them, they do great scouting.
Mm-hmm.
And so they watch a lot of film. So if I'm watching film on all your games and you have 1 or 2 moves, we're gonna find counters to that. Things like, Giannis, the only way you can quote unquote defend him is you build the
wall it up,
or you make him shoot. He's gotten, he started off a better shooter when he didn't have all that muscle mass, and his shots kind of come and gone over the years. But former MVP, NBA champion, shout out to him. But the defensive scheme is build the wall. Mm. That's a simple scheme. If there's some things you can do, like prime LeBron James, you're not really stopping him. Once he learned how to shoot, once he got a mid-range game, you can go to the basket, you can do whatever you want. There's no defensive scheme that you can have to stop him completely unless you're doubling. Then you just trust your teammates. Mm. But that's a lot of people's coaches' schemes. Like, hey, I don't want this guy to beat us. Let's let the other 4 guys beat us. So on the Cam Whitmore, Fred VanVleet thing, I agree with you yesterday. I agree with you today. Mm. It's just Fred VanVleet is a NBA champion. He's a veteran. He's going to know more tricks. He doesn't need to jump out of the gym. Mm-hmm. He can lull you to sleep. He can put you on his hip. He can still blow by you if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
He still knows how to use his body. You don't have to be the biggest or the strongest. You just need to know how to use your body.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great thing with like basketball. At least a smaller guy, if he's fast, he can get a step ahead of you. You're on his hip. Little bump here, you get more space. Bam. You know, or use the basket. You know, you go under the basket. Use the rim to help a taller defender. Can't block you because the rim's right there. You know, there's a lot of ins and outs to basketball and in all sports. And when you get deeper in and you start watching, you start understanding, you listen to more podcasts, you go into analytics, you break things down, you just start seeing a different layer of sports. And that goes with everything. F1, NFL, MLB, there's just like great stats that you can get into. And that's why I love sports. I think that's why we all love sports, because there's different levels to it.
Mm-hmm. And you also can see, especially if you pay attention to one or two teams instead of just looking overarching over sports, you can see the individual players develop and get better in real time. So when Sengun came into the league, I personally, and I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong about it, I thought Sengun wasn't a good pick as early and as high as we got him. He came in, he was an undersized. We needed a center, and he came in as an undersized big, and I was like, that's not kind of. I was looking for a traditional center, a James Wiseman-esque center at that time was what people were looking for. He was the number one pick. Everybody was like, he's going to be great.
Yeah, that didn't work out.
That ended up not working out, but that at the time was kind of what I was looking for. Sengun, we go get Sengun. What was it, like top 15? I think we got him.
Look it up. 16.
We got him 16. All right. I said 15th. We got him 16. But to me, when we had a lot of picks, and I was just thinking that, man, because I didn't watch Sengun play or anything. I was like, there was a lot more athleticism to be got at that round or that pick, and we ended up getting Sengun, which ended up, it's working out right now. That's
It's just a style of basketball you don't play. Like, I don't think he's a great 5 when we had James Harden, because Capella was great. He just set screen, roll to the basket, roll hard, catch lobs, like DeAndre Jordan type stuff with Chris Paul
and play defense.
Showtime, or not Showtime. It was Lob City Clippers. I'm sorry. I did not mean to disrespect the Lakers. Definitely not Showtime where the Clippers were playing. Lob City. But it just depends on scheme, and you have to make and tailor your picks to the personnel around you, especially like your best player.
Right.
You want to cater to your best player and their strengths and your team's strengths and what your coach likes to do and the schemes they like to run defensively and offensively. Same thing, how when we play, I think we play with each other enough, to understand like people's strengths and weaknesses. So it's like, hey, I'm going to pick you, I got you and you. All right, well, our defense is not going to be good, but we just got to shoot more. We got to like hit our shots because our defense is going to go down. Like, we got a shorter team, but we're quicker. We're going to get more shots up, but we got to crash boards hard, but other people are probably going to out-rebound us because they got 6-foot guys, and, our tallest guy is like you. What are you, like 5'9"?
Whoa.
What are you, 5'9"?
No, I'm 6 foot.
You're 6 foot?
I'm 6 foot.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. You can cut that if you want. I don't know, but I guess we play with like Frank. Frank is like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Wilmore's like 6'3".
I think you're giving
Diego's
him too
like
much
6 foot.
I think he's close. I think
Brandon's 6'3".
Brandon
We
is
can call
closer
him.
to
He's 6'3".
Brandon's closer to me than I am to you.
Well, I know I'm not tall. Me and Manuel, David are the shortest people that play, and I'm 5'6". I don't even try to go like I'm 5'7". Like no. I'm 5'6" legit. So I know that, but I don't know. When you get to a certain height, it's like it's like it's all the same.
5'9" is crazy.
I didn't know.
You thought I was 3 inches taller than you?
You don't seem that tall, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
That's insane.
You don't be crashing boards.
That's insane.
I do crash boards. We gotta check the numbers.
I might not get as many rebounds as you.
I'll be crashing boards, man.
Yeah, because you'll run in regardless of the shot. To me, like, okay, so this is we're going off on the side tangent here, but
watch the basketball videos, man.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
Some lady was giving us props, like somebody's kid was getting coached on the other side, and the Asian lady, she was saying, "Oh, it's fun to watch y'all play." And I was like, "Man, that's great to hear." I told her, "Yeah, we record the games," and she's like, "Hey, how do you rent the court?" And I explained to her how much it costs, and we divided up per person. She's like, "Oh, y'all play every day?" I said, "Man, we're pushing 30, and some of us are over 30. We don't play every day. We play once a week." I pointed out you had a knee brace on. I was like, yeah, he ain't gonna make it if he plays every day.
Sheesh.
But it's good to hear
we
that
getting
feedback.
shots today, man.
One of those days, man. But it's cool to hear that people like to watch us play. We play with a lot of energy, we got a lot of joy out there, man. That's the point. Like, we take it serious, but it's all in good fun. It's all family, and watch those games, man. If you're bored, I'm telling you, it's more entertaining than some of the other crap you see on TV. I'll tell you that.
But I'm not gonna let what he just said slide. So he does out rebound me because he actually crashes the board because he's healthy. Like he is a healthy guy. He goes and he runs a couple of miles. Was it daily or what? Every other day?
I cut it back after I fractured my foot. So I'm doing like 3 to 4 runs a week.
Okay.
3 to 4 gym sessions a week.
I might do 3 to 4 runs a year, and that's because I'm being chased. So I don't run at all, and so the byproduct of that is that my knees are terrible. Well, not both of them, just one, the left side. So when I don't crash boards, it's because one, I don't have to because it's not in the end of the game. At the end of every game, you will see me crash boards. You can go watch it if you want. But in the beginning of the game, if I don't have to put extra stress on the knee, I don't. I also if I made a point to go rebound, I'll go get the rebounds. So no, I don't crash boards, but yes, I do crash boards.
Very important basketball fundamentals. It's fun, man. It's just like a basketball thing. Sometimes my shot it comes and goes. When I used to play more, I feel like my shot was a lot better, but as of late, it might come once or twice a month. So I'm just trying to do other things. I know if you look at yesterday's clips, I was passing a lot. Probably too much. But yeah, you were on the starting team is me, you, Jesse, and Brandon. I'm the 4th option on that team. I'm just gonna pass the ball. And it looked good. We were moving the ball around. And we won a good number of games. But
well, technically you jumped all the way up to the 2nd option because my knee was loading for like an hour and a half.
Then it's Brandon. I was 3rd then.
Brandon shot because Brandon shoots. That doesn't mean he's the 2nd option.
Yeah, that'd be the 2nd option because he takes shots.
We need to be the guys crashing the boards so that we can kick it out.
But he don't crash boards either.
Right.
Sorry, Brandon.
Which is what that goes into what I was saying. But anyway, that was that you being a fourth option, I kind of disagree with. But I digress.
Yeah, personal thing, I guess. But I just know same thing with the roles. We talked about yesterday, even after the game, about Jared Dudley. This guy could get buckets. People like Draymond Green were getting buckets in high school and college. Mm-hmm. When you get to the league, your role gets more defined and it gets more tailored to what your team needs and your coaching scheme and your players on the court. Draymond Green could average more points than what he does, but on the team that he's on, he plays a role for Steph to get guys open to play defense, to play like a playmaking 4, or sometimes a small ball 5. And that's just what he does.
Draymond Green could definitely go to Hoopston and get buckets.
Well, professionals are gonna kill normal people. I'm not one of those people. My ego's not big. Hey, this guy sucks in the NBA, but I could beat him, or I could go toe to toe with him. It's no, he's a professional basketball player. There's levels to this. There's fucking high school varsity. There's D3, D2, D1, professional. There's different professional leagues, but NBA is the top. MLB is the top.
I don't
NFL
think 45-year-old Dudley is killing me on the basketball court though. I know you can call it ego if you want.
He's gonna kill you.
Nah, man. I think
game to 11.
I think the game
11-0.
It's not gonna be 11-0. There's no way. There's no way. No, there's no way.
11-0.
It's not gonna be 11-0.
If you poke the bear on any NBA player,
hey, Jared Dudley.
40, I don't think he's 45. I don't think he's 45.
He's probably older than that.
I don't think he's older than that.
He's
30s.
He stayed.
Look it up.
Bro, there's no way he's in his 30s.
He might be late 30s, bro. Maybe. Jared Dudley.
Okay, he's 40.
He's 39. I'm right.
Yeah, whatever. He's 39. It don't even matter.
He's cooking, bro. Sorry.
He's not.
Jared Dudley's like that, bro.
He's not. I'm not saying that Jared Dudley isn't nice. I'm just saying that in a game 2-11, it might be 3-11.
Well, we take 2s and 1s. Yeah. So you'd have to hit a 2 and a layup. You
don't think that I can hit a 2?
I don't. If he's defending you properly, no. If he wants to, no. He's blocking you up.
I'll get a 3 off.
you'd have to like get a Hail Mary type shot. Like shit happens. Like
What?
I've done like.
Did you not see me yesterday with my 1v1 with Devin?
I saw it towards the end. Y'all should have recorded that.
I won.
That game when we
I won.
weren't playing after the game because the game was over, and he described what he was gonna do and then did it. That was crazy.
Right.
He's done that a lot.
That's nice.
Like, shout out Devin, bro. That's crazy.
Man, he still lost
He's
the
a
1v1.
father of two, just like hooping once a month, just putting numbers up.
Yeah.
Crazy.
He does come out there and his showmanship is up there when he's out there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was nice. But I mean, ultimately, it didn't win him the game, and then
That's
he didn't
true.
win him the 1v1. So
that's true.
you did all that for nothing, Devin.
That was nice though. You gonna clip that shit for sure. I know you got one on me.
100% gonna go clip that. And we didn't because we have a stationary camera. We didn't even show him actually going and dabbing up. So if you do watch it and you do hear him and see him take that shot, first off, it was out of bounds. But he did say it was out of bounds.
He had one leg in and he was gonna lean back. Lean back.
He said he was gonna step out of bounds and he actually did. So that's even more levels. He said, "I'm gonna step out of bounds, shoot the
he
shot."
described that shit.
Yeah, down to the wire, and he actually hit, and then he dabbed up the team that was on the alternate side playing. So it was really nice. It didn't count, but it was nice to see. It's like that DeAndre Hopkins catch in the Dolphins against that Dolphins game, that one-handed underneath the leg catch. So, but that's all right. Moving on, we're gonna be talking about the Lakers. So, you think that Darvin Ham was a scapegoat in the Lakers? So that's why they got rid of him?
That question comes from Diego. Shout out Diego, man. Sniper from 3. Definitely a scapegoat for sure. But I mean, Darvin Ham, you saw the clips. He had his hands in his pockets at all times. His clipboard was blank, just saying, "You gotta be better than those guys." Like, he's not a good coach, regardless.
Okay.
But you know what really bothers me as a LeBron James fan, I wouldn't say a stan, but a fan, is that LeBron, his best coach, if I just think in my head, probably Tyronn Lue and Eric Spoelstra.
Okay.
Great coaches, but he didn't have like a solid system.
You think Tyronn Lue's a great coach?
I think he's a great coach. He's a champion.
He is a champion.
He's a great coach.
That was more
The
like
Clippers
a
are
LeBron
pretty
champion.
good. Like if they had a healthy team, they would be pretty good.
If they had
The thing is
if
with
Paul
LeBron-
George didn't leave, the Clippers would be they would be
I don't know
serious
about
right now.
Well, it depends because
They're
he has
okay right
injuries
now.
too. But the thing is, anybody that's under LeBron or with LeBron, they get less credit or they get discredited. LeBron actually let Tyronn Lue coach him. Tyronn Lue is a pretty good coach. Is that better to say than great? He's a pretty good coach. He's a top 10 coach in the league right now.
Okay, so he
Yes.
is a top 10 coach in the
Okay.
league, but I only feel like there's like only so yeah, he's a really good coach because I only feel like there's like 3 coaches where I'm like, not only do you have to be better than their basketball team, like in a game of 7, we're talking about finals or a playoff setting. Not only do you have to be better than their basketball team, but you're gonna have to be outcoach their coach. There's only 3 coaches that I've ever really thought about that with.
Like who? Like Phil Jackson or current coaches?
Current coaches.
Okay.
Pop. Well,
Pop's not a good coach anymore.
Pop is still a good coach. It's
No.
like just because his team is just so much worse
They're
than
so
what it
bad.
was.
They're
That
so
doesn't
bad.
mean that he's not a good coach.
He should have retired.
You put Pop on what you put Pop on the Cavs. That's tough. But they're doing
They're
good
still
right
good.
now.
Yeah.
They're doing good now. I'm thinking more of like the Kings.
Kings aren't good either, though.
The Kings are right there on the as a borderline playoff team.
They're not good either.
They need coaching.
They need better players.
They need coaching. Well, I mean, do they though? They have really good players. De'Aaron Fox is out there going crazy.
Fox, Sabonis,
going crazy.
DeRozan.
Well, DeRozan's getting
Malik
up there.
Monk. They had decent players. I don't know about I don't know. All those guys currently aren't all stars. They wouldn't be all stars this year. Former, I think Demo was in the East. I think he was an all star, and DeRozan, of course, was an all star in the East. But he's a little past his prime.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't. Only Kings game I watched this year is when they played us. So I'm not really looking forward like Kings games. I like the Aaron Fox game. I think he's a little inconsistent as well, but they're like a hit or miss team. They had like that one good playoff year, and then they've been like struggling after that. They had the light the beam celebration, which is pretty cool, but I don't watch games, man. Like it's so hard to watch all these games around the association.
Mm-hmm.
Like
There's a lot of games.
It's tough.
It's all the time.
It's all the time, and like it's a time commitment. I've been catching them on replay because catching them live, the streams kind of suck. So if you catch it on a replay, they're gonna cut through all the nonsense, no commercials, and it's just gonna be like a easier digestible product at that point.
Right.
You are gonna. The only thing is, what's gonna happen. But I'm not a big I don't care about spoilers. Like if you spoil something for me, it's like the ego talking here. I think I would already like understand the twist. So I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy the journey towards the twist.
Right. If you watch it live, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Anything after the day of, you can put the spoiler in.
Yeah, like that's
cool. for sports.
Yeah, because I know the end sport. Like I know the end result because I get the little notification on my phone for majority of teams in the league. So like, hey, this person did this, especially with like Instagram, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, things like that. Yep. I follow the actual NBA teams on Instagram too, so you're just getting always bombarded with information. But I just want to see how the game went. I care that we lost, but I want to see how did we lose. You know, and the playbacks have just been better for me. Sometimes I can catch it at work, watch 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there. It's easier to digest. So that's kind of how I've been consuming the NBA as of late, especially with those California games. Like games tip off at 9. Come on, man. That's late. Crazy.
That is late tip off. Yeah, that's. There have been times where I have like went to bed and like woke up to like go get some water or something, and it'd be like 12 o'clock or 11:30 or something like that, and there's a game going on.
Yeah, it'd be those like, Warriors games.
What is going on?
I remember like 2014, 2015 Warriors, like strength in numbers Warriors before they were like villains to us or anything like that. I would watch those games, so I'd get off work late at HEB. And I'd have those on the TV, and I'd watch those, and I'd enjoy them before like the hype was like really, really there, but the hype was growing. And those games always started late because California team, right? You know, so yeah, I was a lot younger back then.
That seems like a whole nother time here, but I digress. But since we're in California, we're gonna keep it on the Lakers for a little bit. So you know. Like you said, Darvin Ham wasn't that good of a coach, but maybe still a scapegoat because J.J. Redick came in. This is his first year, so I'm going to go ahead and give him, some slack. I also don't think that his job security is under any kind of scrutiny because it's so early.
Yeah.
But yeah, J.J. Redick and the Lakers haven't been doing very well. They lost 41 to the Heat recently.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Tyler Hero went off. I believe he had 9 threes. There was a drop-off period where LeBron wasn't playing that great. The last 2 games he has played pretty good. The question was proposed by Diego in Discord was, will JJ make it to New Year's? And I believe he will.
Yeah.
It's December 7th now. Unless like they go and they lose the rest of the games for the year.
By like 41.
Sure, then maybe, but I don't see that happening. I think he makes it to New Year's. That's just my take on it.
I agree. So the Lakers are slacking right now, and there are a myriad of reasons why they could be slacking. Do you think that it's personnel, or do you think that it's playing?
It's definitely personnel for sure. They just don't have guys. Like JJ wants to have them shoot a lot of threes, but they don't have the personnel to shoot threes at a high clip. Okay. You're playing. I think I said it last time, bro. You're playing guys like Max Christie. Max Christie's not a hooper, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's a professional, but he's not good. Like, he's not getting PT on a good team. He's just not. There's other guys that they play too. They're just not up there. Gabe Vincent had 1 or 2 games that are actually he played well in.
Vincent from the Heat?
Yeah, but he's on the Lakers.
Yeah,
he hasn't played good in over a year. It's just a lot of guys, man. Just guys. They all like Jag. Just a guy. Like these guys are playing with LeBron. I think we talked about it earlier. It's just like I wish LeBron ever went to LA. Personally, the team, the ownership, the management, Rob Pelinka, they're just not doing a good job. I think LeBron's probably too hands on, and then he try to back off when it blows up in his face, like with a Russell Westbrook trade, which I don't like. Like I said, I'm a fan, not a stan. When he does things like that, it just kind of makes it hard to have sympathy for him. When he was talking shit like, oh, Bronny's better than guys I'm playing with right now, it's like, no, he's not. We have a short right now. We're asking guys, like, who's better, Bronny or LiAngelo? I said LiAngelo. You said LiAngelo. Bronny's just not good.
It's pretty consensus that it was LiAngelo.
A lot of people were probably just saying it because they love Bron. It's like, I love him too, man, but your son's not it. And he's not playing away games. He's on timeout. He's not getting PT like that. Like, it's just not it. It's not fun. That's a storyline you don't need. And there's just a distraction. If this were to be his last season, that's just a distraction. Like, yeah, I play with my son. Cool. One game, get it over with, and then send him to the G League.
Mm-hmm.
But he should not have a guaranteed contract for 4 years, $8 million. He shouldn't have special, like, privileges, things like that. Like, you got to earn it, man. Everybody, normal people like us, we don't like nepotism. Not to that level, not to that extreme. If it's in the front office, how would we know? So, Jerry Jones and his kids are in the Cowboys organization. Oh, that's fine. It has nothing to do with me. They're not on the field. They're not playing. His son's not playing quarterback for the Cowboys.
Right.
He's in the front office. That's fine. Same with his daughter. But it's just a distraction, man, and it kind of tarnishes LeBron's legacy. It just gives MJ stands and old heads more fuel to the fire. Say, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Like, MJ would never do this. It's just annoying. MJ fans every day on social media just get out there and say, oh, MJ's the best, MJ's the best. Like, bro, I get it. Like, I can't change your mind, you're not gonna change my mind. Like, it is what it is. But like, that shit gotta die. It's annoying.
Mm. So all time, you think that the LeBron versus MJ isn't even a debate?
It's a debate. It's played out.
Okay.
Like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless were doing that years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing LeBron can do today.
He didn't have as big as a resume back then.
No, and it's gotten better. It's gotten better and it's gotten worse because a lot of MJ defenders will say it's just a longevity thing. Like when he's all-time scoring. But that's a fact though. It's a longevity thing. But like the fact that he's been able to play 22 years and average what he's averaging and put up the points he's averaging is a good thing. Like,
right.
It's an achievement.
Like they say, but what is a player's best
what
ability?
What do you want me to do? Availability. So because Jordan retired twice, like whose fault is that?
Yeah.
It's not LeBron's fault because he played 22 years. It's not. He doesn't have a gambling problem that we know of. He's not an alcoholic. So how are you going to hold that against him? Yes, he did lose in the finals. I believe like getting to the finals is good too.
Yeah.
But
what was it like 6 straight times or something like that?
I think got to the finals 9 times straight.
9 times straight.
Yeah. And then people are going to discredit because the East is weak. You play who's in front of you. Yep. We talked about that before too. Mm-hmm. Unlike boxing where you can cherry pick tomato cans, you can't do that in the NBA.
He went to the West and won a championship.
Yeah, and then they're going to discredit that and say it was a bowl championship.
I mean,
fine.
They're going to find something.
Play who's in front of you. Deal with whatever the parameters you got to play with and play. Clippers like, oh, we didn't take it seriously. Okay, that's y'all, bro. That sounds like cope. Sounds like an excuse, That's annoying. But I'm just like kind of tired of the debate. Anybody over the age of like 35 is probably an MJ stan. Anybody under is probably a LeBron fan. I just don't understand the debate anymore. There's nothing LeBron James could do today to make his resume go over Jordan's. If you believe Jordan's the best, there's nothing.
How many rings does LeBron have?
He has
5
2.
Total?
No, he has 4.
4
he
total?
Has 2 with the Heat, 1 with Cleveland, 1 with LA. He has 4.
Okay. So, and Jordan has what, 6?
6. He's 6 for 6.
Okay.
He's never gone to a game 7.
Okay.
It's impressive.
It's never gone to a game 7, but he's also been bouncing the first round a couple times too.
Yeah, and they're going to say he was younger, and he's going to say he didn't have all-star teammates. They're going to say a whole bunch of stuff, bro. Mm-hmm. They're going to say Jordan was a defensive player of the year so many times, and he was a scoring champion so many times. The league overall was not better back then. But you can't compare eras. It's very, very difficult to do that.
Put Jokic back then.
He would have cooked. He would have cooked. He would have cooked.
He better be the best player they've ever seen.
Arvydas Sabonis was cooking back then.
Yeah.
Domantas Sabonis' dad. Jokic would have been insane.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing eras is just a very dangerous game. And you can just go here and there like, oh, the food is better today. The training is better today. The recovery is better today. Yes. It's just a different era, man. Like right. I don't really like to get into old head debates because it's gonna yap your ear off. So yep. I really don't want to hear it, bro.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of the things that I think that is it's going in the right direction, but it also that is also the reason why injuries are increasing as well, in my opinion. Because
they did a breakdown the other day where people are running more like mileage in today's game than back then because of the 3-ball. Mm-hmm. You're putting more wear and tear on your body. We're talking about AAU, people playing 5-6 games a day. These people are growing up playing more, so there's more mileage on their body. Mm-hmm. Even with recovery, you can only play so much.
Right.
You can only do so much. So, yeah, there's a lot of injuries because the speed of the game
and how powerful and strong these players are is at an all-time high.
Right.
These are top-tier athletes. You're playing the top-tier athletes, not even just in America, in the entire world. So things are going to happen.
You don't think that JJ Redick's job is in jeopardy?
Right now, no.
No?
December 7th, 2024, no.
Okay.
Like I said, if they go on a 2-week losing streak going into the new year, maybe. I just don't see it. They're still 500, above 500. They're 12-10. That's not great in the West. It's a winning record.
Right.
So finding a coach with a winning record, the Bucks did that last year. How'd that turn out?
Right.
Not very good, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are winning games now.
Now they've turned it around. Doc has turned it around a little bit, and Chris Middleton has returned to the court, which is great. We love to see that. It's great when everybody's playing and people are healthy.
Yep. And so because Chris Middleton's returned, they've won some games. They're in like the Cup semis or something like that. I'd have to go
the
check.
Cup system's fucking confusing, bro.
I'd have to check, but we're getting down close to at least the quarterfinals, if not the semis around now. With the finals,
Quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So we play the Warriors Wednesday, and tip off's at 9, and we're actually going to that game.
Oh, well,
me, Diego, Manuel, and Javi.
So that's gonna be an interesting game. We're gonna see if we actually if we want it or if we want our get back, because the Warriors beat us in a regular season game, this week.
Without Steph and Draymond.
Without Steph and Draymond. They let Jonathan Kuminga get a career high. Nasty game, bro.
Yeah.
So, and ultimately, it was still there for us. I mean, we lost by 6, but it went down to the final possession, honestly. Because if we would have got the stop on Jonathan Kuminga, and, he also got fouled on that conversion, if we got that stop, we take the game-winning shot. So, or we attempt the game-winning shot. So, just some of those things that you just kind of have to be okay with at the end of the day. We really shouldn't be in any game with the Warriors where Steph Curry isn't playing. But I mean, it just goes to any day with the NBA that anybody can come up, step up, and win a game.
Yeah, if we want to be taken seriously as a contender, that can't happen. I think we kind of play down to people at certain times in this season, and which is not good. If the vets aren't like the ones ending the game for us the way they probably should, we definitely need that guy, and that's why I think we should probably trade Jalen Green and try to get a guy. Jimmy Butler was rumored. I don't want Jimmy Butler. I don't think you want Jimmy Butler. He's towards the end. I just don't think he takes you to the next level. His body, I think, is just done. His skill set, his game isn't ideal for the current NBA. More of a mid-range scorer, inside finisher. He can't shoot the 3 ball at a high percentage. The way we're shooting.
Did Jimmy Butler win a ring, a championship?
No, he's never won a championship.
He's not even won a championship.
He's been, I just don't think he's like that guy. I think he has the mindset for it, but I just don't think he has enough left in the tank to back it up. He had a good run with Minnesota. He had his early career in Chicago. Minnesota probably never got rid of him. He had a great run in Philly. They shouldn't have got rid of him. He's had a great run. He's been to back-to-back finals. They just never got over the hump. Lost to LeBron, lost to Jokic. Losing to all-time players, great all-time players. No shame in that, because Jimmy's definitely not even a top 50 player. But I just think his best days are behind him.
You mean currently top 50 player?
Of all time. Of all time.
I mean,
he's probably a top 50 player in today's game. I'm talking about all time. LeBron and Jokic are probably gonna finish LeBron for sure, but Jokic will probably finish his career in the top 50, and that's easy for me to say.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler probably isn't top 50 of all time.
And that's
he's probably not.
Yeah. I think he's done a lot with what he has. I think he's overachieved in his career because I just don't think he's that gifted. I just don't see it personally. Granted, his game isn't one that I enjoy.
Jimmy Butler got a clutch factor. He uses his clutch. He's got
a lot of heart.
Yeah.
Which is it's I don't even know the word for it, but it's great to see. I like to see that. When I see him play, when he's healthy, I know he's playing. He's giving it his all.
Right.
And a lot of these guys, they cut the check.
Westbrook.
Yeah, and that's why he has a lot of fans, and no matter what he does, you know what? This guy is giving it his best. Maybe he doesn't have it anymore. His shot's gone. Maybe he's turning the ball over too much, but he's trying. That's what we want to see. Well, some of these guys just cutting a check, man.
Yeah.
This is like going into their normal 9 to 5 job. They're treating it like it's Little Caesar's job. Like, bro, you're playing NBA basketball. You're living out people's dream. At least pretend to care.
Right.
I never think that Jimmy's cheating the game. I think he's giving it his best. And if he could play, he's playing. Even if he's a little banged up, but he can still go, he's going to go. He's going to give it your best. So I commend him on that.
Okay. Alternatively, Kawhi. I think Kawhi is kind of, at this point, he's feeling like he's cheating the game. I understand that your body breaks down and such, but he's been out for like a month on knee inflammation. That was the injury, knee inflammation.
I'd say it was probably worse in San Antonio. Granted, they were saying that the doctors in San Antonio tried to rush him, but he's lost cause, man. Out of sight, out of mind for me. I'm glad that he's not even on my radar. He's never been a great player for me, like personally.
He's never been a great player
for me. As in like a great player to watch. I know he's a great player.
Okay.
He's a claw, he's a champion. He's one of the Spurs, he's one with the Toronto Raptors, he's been finals MVP. He's a great player, but he's not a great player for me because he's not there to watch. Zion Williamson could be a great player. He just doesn't play.
Right.
So I just don't think about him. Out of sight, out of mind. These guys, I don't know their body. I'm not their doctor. But you're missing so many games. At a certain point, bro, you get tired of it. Just like you said earlier, the best ability is availability.
Right.
And these guys aren't available. Whether that's for like serious health conditions or just like a out of shape thing or personal thing, they're just not playing games. So I'm not going to talk about them really. I'm not really, because I'm not watching. They're not available.
Right.
Some of the times they're not even on the court with their team. They're not even flying. Like, at least if I was hurt, like when I fractured my foot, I'll still like show up to watch you guys play, to be around. I was even playing when I shouldn't have been playing, but and I'm not getting paid. So I just can't imagine how these guys don't even consider to be that kind of teammate. It just doesn't make sense to me. But everybody's wired differently, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess the last thing that we'll get into today, just real quick, is on viewership. We touched on this a couple podcasts back, saying that the decline in NBA viewership was becoming an issue, and they're not doing much to try to mitigate that. And they kind of doubled down on that because the Rockets OKC game that we were speaking on earlier was a blackout game. You couldn't watch it on you couldn't watch it anywhere. So what does that for a game against the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed being a blackout game? What does that tell you when someone says that?
It means the NBA they don't know what the viewers want and what the viewers need, but they're going to complain about viewership. I was listening to a podcast on The Ringer earlier today, and this guy was saying we should cut the streaming, or the NBA should crack down on streaming. Why? People really want to see the product. They're going to go out of their way. They want to watch the product, but it's not available, so they're going to stream it illegally.
Not us, though.
No, never that.
No, we do this 100% legal.
All the time. But you got people want to watch NBA games. I haven't watched regular TV in forever.
Right, facts.
Forever. I've never. If I'm gonna watch a TV show, I'm gonna use Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max.
I don't even know what's on regular TV nowadays. I don't know.
Only people that watch TV like that are old people,
or
really young kids. But commercials are terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody's very.
When I'm at the store waiting on my car being fixed or something, that's when I watch TV.
Bad, dude. You're at the airport.
Even then, I watch YouTube.
But you just got to make it easier for people to watch. And if you can capitalize on some kind of streaming and you make it a relatively good price, or you just let me watch it with ads, because you're going to get money from the ad revenue. Let me watch it. NBA app should have every single game on there for free. You just have to watch the ads.
Yep.
And you're going to make money that way. League Pass cost almost $200 plus, and you still don't get all the games? Come on, bro. In this economy, you're crazy.
Yeah.
I had League Pass a number of years ago, and I really just wasted my money because I didn't use it as much. I didn't get the games that I wanted to see, blackout games in my fucking city. Couldn't watch Rockets games in Houston. It just didn't make any sense. It was just annoying, So if you're gonna stream, I can't be mad at you,
right? I also agree. When I found out that the Rockets is, we watched it live, but the Rockets OKC game was blacked out, like the number 1 seed versus number 2 seed. Was that a cup game? I can't remember. I believe seeing a fancy floor. So yeah, that was a cup game. But I mean, still, that was a very it was a very important. That was a potential playoff matchup. You know, that showed how, and then the teams went at it. It was like they cared about that game. You know, it was a great game too. You know, so things when you see the game, you see all the product, and then it's like that's kind of like recording. I don't know if anybody has ever like recorded anything or had to make anything using video photography or whatever. But that's like recording something, going through all of the work, going recording, and at the very end you walk up and like, oh, I didn't hit record. It's like that's like kind of like the dang, like come on, bro, like that's the gut feeling you get when you're like, oh, I can't even watch the game, and it was a good one. That's kind of how I feel. That's gonna wrap it up for episode 5. We've made it 5 podcasts.
Yeah, we're trying to do our best every week to improve. Trying to get other people to come on through, to support us and just come on, just to express themselves why they love the game, or just tell the viewers about themselves, how they're doing. But thank you guys for watching, subscribing. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers for the end of the year. I don't think that's a hard number. Just think about how many people you know in your life.
Right.
Everybody watches YouTube, man. Just click the button. Like, I care if you watch. I'm going to appreciate if you do watch, if you leave a comment. But if you don't, at least please click subscribe. It's a small little milestone for us and for the hard work that Chris does, editing this podcast every single week and giving it his all, giving it his best. And just the hard work that we all do and showing up every week and hooping with each other and just having fun, living life. Just please click that subscribe button, man.
Yeah. Like you said, subscribe, share if you actually do enjoy the product. If you made it 50 minutes into this podcast and you're still with us, you obviously like what we're putting out. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe, like you said, and just tell one person, and then that one person will tell one person. That's just how things happen, So yeah, comment if you disagree with either one of us. Trust me, we will be in that comment section debating you, and then we'll bring you up next week. So don't be
afraid.
Put your
name in there, bro. I can put your whole government name.
Yeah. We'll find you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
easy.
And so just keep the family going. We do appreciate everything that you guys do. This goes as far as you allow us to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for watching it this far, and we'll tune in next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.